I reckon the last time I saw it must have been like probably when we were like 15, something like that. So
Well,
because it would have been a few years after it came out, but
yeah, because it would have been 10 when it came out, and I'd have definitely not seen it then.
I reckon I probably saw it shortly after seeing Big Lebowski and Fargo for the first time.
Interesting.
This is my first time seeing it, and I think I quite liked it. But I think we're gonna have to sort out my score in real time.
Oh,
Because
shit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel.
Is it
Did
on?
you
Yeah.
Yes.
did you like it more than Big Lebowski?
It's hard to say because I'm more familiar with Big Lebowski.
It's been a while since, but that was that the first year of film club? Pat picked that.
Yeah, that was
the
pick
second
number
round, wasn't it?
pick number 3.
Oh, third round.
Yeah, Braveheart was the second round.
Shit.
Oh yeah, Training Day was the first, wasn't it?
Yeah, Training Day, Braveheart, Big Lebowski, and
then The Rock.
The Rock.
Well, you know them more than probably Pat does.
To be fair, when we
But
was at the Hans Zimmer concert, when he did the little excerpt from The Rock, I turned to Pat and I was like, "It's The Rock," and Pat was just sort of stood there like.
You know this is your favorite film. Because that's the thing. As soon as that happened, I was like, "Oh, Pat's gonna fucking adore this." And obviously, until you probably mentioned it, and after the fact, he's like, "Oh shit, it's The Rock."
I don't think he's the kind of guy to go, "Oh shit, you're right." Ah.
It's a shame we were in Lisbon for that Lion King one, man. That looked really good.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they'll probably do it again, but it's just the film with the orchestra. But it's one of those things that's quite easy for them to do, and it will just be amazing regardless if they've got a great orchestra doing it. Yeah, perfect. Do you know? Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, some people get like really hung up on sort of like it not being the original musicians and whatever, but I don't know, like with orchestras, like it's got like half of the point is that any orchestra should be able to pick it up and play it.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point. Is that if you're in orchestra, you should be able to play anything that the conductor puts in front of you. So that's how good you have to be able to be in the orchestra anyway. So if you can read sheet music, you're automatically probably one of the best musicians in the world. So in theory, as long as you can just follow the timings, you're going to be perfect.
Yeah.
You know your parts.
Are you drinking the stout?
No, this is Coke.
Oh, right.
Oh, then
I couldn't see the top of it, and I was like, oh, that's interesting.
God, I'm glad I didn't plan to just watch it today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, when I saw you watching it earlier in the week, I was like, oh, I'll watch it just in case.
Oh, lucky.
I might have to watch it tomorrow before I go to bed.
Will you go to bed?
Yeah, when I'm home.
Oh, right.
Wait, what do you mean? Watch what? This film again? Or
Yeah.
oh, just to do your rewatch? Okay.
Yeah.
You've got 5 watches this week.
Oh fuck. Oh Jesus.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Pat's ones do you know what they are? It'd be a spoiler if I said it in right now, but I know what they are.
Yeah. To be fair, I imagine they're both like pretty fast moving films.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one of them, but yeah.
Robbo's told me what they are.
To be fair, now I think about it, well, I was kind of assuming that it'd just be like a generic action film, but then I literally just now remembered who the director is, so maybe it will be quite interesting.
My only reference for the second one is knowing that The Simpsons did a title based on it.
They did, yeah. And
Yes,
so
they
did the Skate Tools.
Indeed.
Nice. Okay, so Pat's having his insides plundered by himself. Emmanuel is in his insides plundered from his stepbrother. Simon's having his insides plundered by his job. let's. What did you? You got an opening statement for? Oh brother, where art thou?
That
Oh,
is
brother.
the big week, to be fair. Oh, brothers. Oh,
Just-
good brothers. Where are they?
Yeah, pretty much. Well done. Yeah.
I just told you, they're all getting their guts plundered.
Yeah, they've all been turned into horny toads, basically. That's where they are.
This is the film winners club.
Yeah. Yeah, I might as well do it in behalf of Manuel because as I was thinking of picking it anyway, I think it is the first Coen Brothers movie I saw actually. I think it was literally around 15, 16 I saw it first time. And then afterwards Fargo, then Big Lebowski, etc. But this one kind of like always appealed to me because of its eccentricity and its quirkiness and silliness. And on like a rewatch, it is all those things as well, but it's kind of got a lot of thought behind it and a bit of sentimentality and a bit of pathos, I think, in certain moments of the story of because it's based on the Greek myth that Homer wrote. Not Homer Simpson, I shall preface, but the original Homer from the Grecian times. But yeah, it's I think how they made this film was really quite clever. How it had homage to that old fable, but it had this kind of like old school country and western bluegrass hillbilly flavor that was done so well with T-Bone Burnett's score that kind of gave it like this like style and theme of its own. And yeah, it's just like what you'd imagine of America and the old America of that era, and they did it so well, bringing it to life. But I think the three characters in this kind of like hold it all together, and it's just their journey of like it's just irreverent and silly, and they do all sorts of crazy stuff, and things happen to them, and you can't really predict it, but it kind of has this like journeyman kind of quality to it as well. Like this, they're just trying to survive, but at the same time, it's kind of like what this is a story that someone's probably told someone else, and it's kind of passed on by generation to generation. It's like probably not what the actual events were, but it's kind of like this is how everyone would imagine these events went down, if they were told it by their like grandchildren. It's kind of like this old school kind of storybook quality, which I liked about it. And the Coens did a great job with their kind of black humor thrown in as well. That gave it a bit more of a bite. It isn't just all quite sunshine and rainbows. It's a lot of nasty, weird stuff as well, but it's done in kind of like I said, irreverence and a little bit of jest at some points, and it doesn't take itself seriously when it doesn't need to, but it has moments that it shows you when it needs to have it has something to say, and those are quite profound as well. Hey Pat.
Hey man.
Yeah, and so yeah, I think it's a film I do really really like. It's one that always makes me laugh, even though it isn't quite a laugh a minute. A film that isn't quite, I wouldn't say it's a proper comedy because it isn't constantly funny, but there are just really great moments that really make that really make me really smile, and I think that are really hilarious, but not all moments do. So it's interesting to see if you guys found it funnier than I did or less so. So it's because it's kind of got this weird sort of silly like of the moment humor. It's definitely situation comedy, but also kind of absurdist as well. So yeah, I think it's a weird one to kind of put your finger on, but it's very Cohen. It's very the black humor shines because they will always find something funny out of like really kind of dire straits and really horrible or with bit kind of maybe not horrible, but more like it seems a bit like of a dark undertone to it all. So yeah, they did a good job of kind of like teetering that tightrope. So yeah, that is my opening statement. So who wants to go?
Do you know? Because I was wondering like if it was a thing or if it was just like it's just how it happened to be. But like, do you know if there's a connection between the Odyssey and Southern America?
Um, I don't think it's a literal one. I I don't know if it was the Coens that kind of like took that from it, or if there was something else previously that kind of was a reference to it. Because I know it's like the title was based off of an old film called Sullivan's Travels, which is an old Preston Sturges movie, which is about this film director who kind of wants to make a movie in the the South, and he wants to literally become he wants to kind of pretend he is a hillbilly. He just wants to pretend to be homeless and just live out a couple of weeks out in the South and see how it is for people in poverty and how they live their lives, so he can like make a movie from that experience. So that's where the Coens got their inspiration from the title of this film, is because it's kind of like this is what it means to be in South America, North America, and it's kind of got this thing of being kind of like it's what's the word? It's not just poverty, but it's kind of like you're like what's the word for it?
Destitute.
I suppose, yeah, destitute and kind of what it means to be like the working off the land, and kind of like that's a part of America that you know the Midwest America of now would always want to be about holding. Like this is the America of old that we kind of like hold dear, and this is what we want to preserve, and this is kind of like uh, what you'd imagine America is, or what America thinks it is, and what they want to always aspire to be. It's kind of like this mythic kind of like thing. Probably gone off the rails a bit, but I think I'm trying to think of the right words later. It is of that kind of like yeah, this
We were just trying to work out the joke, like
of why it was that. I
yeah,
guess
it was like it's the setting, and then it's like okay, it's based off of the Odyssey, but like just wonder where the joke came out. Just kind of like oh yeah, it's like the Odyssey, but it's in Southern America. Hey, and it's
yeah,
just kind
maybe
of
it's just that's their family, and that's what they grew up as, and they were Americans themselves, and they're like, hey, hang on, this is part of our culture. Let's try dig into that.
yeah.
I wonder if like I wonder what Emmanuel's view on it will be, just because like that's the part of America that he was born in, or like at least the region, rather than the actual part.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of have like mixed feelings on it because like there's a lot of it that I really like and I found really funny, but some of it I just found really difficult to watch. It tended to be whenever someone was singing, I was kind of going like,
If you don't like that style of music, then it's not going to work for you, I guess.
I downloaded that song instantly.
oh man.
I was like, that is a great song. That needs to be in my playlist right now.
That does help, though, doesn't it? If you like the music.
Busted it.
It's a weird one because like I think like some of the humor is kind of like it's along the same lines as the humor in The Big Lebowski, where like it's not so much a joke, it's just like a stupid thing, and that stuff I always really love.
I was expecting more of the stuff like when they get on the train and someone falls over and George Clooney gets like dragged off like very forcefully. I was expecting like more of that, but I'm glad they. I'm kind of glad they didn't have as much of that. But I was kind of picturing a lot more physical humor.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because I guess like you can see some like you can draw a line to like the Three Stooges and that kind of like stupid stuff. I think I probably would have liked to have more of it. But yeah, I don't know. I find it a bit of a weird film because, like, there's bits that I love, but there's other bits where I'm just sort of kind of going like, oh, I don't, I don't want to be watching it. Like it's a strange one for me. But yeah, it's very kind of, it's like you said, really, Ben. Like the humor is very Cohen's. Like it's not like there's no real sort of there's no like intent behind a lot of the jokes. It's just like stupid stuff that's kind of funny.
Yeah, I wasn't picturing as much like animal violence that was like just completely just there was no reason for it really.
Yeah, that was the tough parts that I didn't really like either. Obviously, it's kind of like I can see why these characters would do that because that's probably them trying to like highlight why John Goodman's character's a piece of shit or some, and it's kind of like the what was his face? The name of the Tommy gun wielding bandit robber guy. Babyface, yes. Yeah, he was oh girls, I hate girls. Is that so? What was he really like that? Because he's based on a real character. He's based on a real man that lived in that era. So some of it is based on truth as well. There are moments in this film that are kind of based on real life people. So they've kind of intertwined like their fictional characters with myths and legends, not only of Homer but of that part of America in the 1920s. Am I right saying? Was that era? Or maybe it's earlier than that.
I wonder if that's part of the point because, like, I think
Yeah.
wasn't Odysseus like a real person?
I think
I think
so.
they might have been. Yeah, I think even the Greek myths and legends, they're not like when I say myths, they're kind of like Homer wrote these stories as fictional tales, but they probably had a bit of reality in them as well of the people they're based on.
Because I don't know if you remember, I shared something a little while ago, and it was like so the myth of like the Cyclops came from the skulls of like dead elephants like washed up into like Greek caves.
Oh,
and
so they saw the trunk.
They saw the big trunk hole and assumed it was an eye. So like,
oh right, yeah, that's how they misinterpreted like what the creatures were.
Yeah, so like.
That's really interesting.
I think that's so interesting. But like, I wonder if that's kind of part of it, where like you're kind of finding the mythology in real life. I wonder if that's why they've chosen to mix the Odyssey with Southern America, like a very like I don't want to say contemporary setting, but like quite like a as modern as you can get while still being quite far away. I guess. See, the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm liking it.
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
I bring that up because John Goodman's meant to represent like the Cyclops in the story, like the singing girls are meant to represent the sirens, obviously, because I say that.
Very obvious. I like the old John Goodman. Like, who is he? Oh, he's got the eye patch. He's the Cyclops. It's perfect.
I didn't want to just frame that as like that was a me observation. I was like, no, they do actively call them sirens.
Yeah, they do. Sirens or something like so.
But
Pat, you seemed a bit on edge since Ben said it was a real person that it was based on.
Sorry, I've just zoned out.
Did you seem a bit on edge since Ben mentioned it was a real person who it was based on?
Who, the film?
I don't know nothing about this real guy. It wasn't me.
This old brother. Yeah.
Nah, if it's based on a real person, then it is what it is, isn't it?
No, I'm okay. I think.
Where are the other two?
Don't know. We've lost Emmanuel and Simon.
Oh, good brothers.
Problem with the bathroom. So one, there's still no hot water, which is a bit annoying. It's fine. I mean, that's not a surprise.
Are you running the bath?
I was.
Yeah.
And then, oh god, there's a big moth on the ceiling.
Well,
that's Alex again. And then so I went to empty it. I thought, oh, fuck, I'm not gonna have a bath. There's no hot water. Can't bother to bath. And now I can't get the plug open.
Do you know how to do it?
No, I just pressed it in.
That's not how you do it. I'll come up and do it in a second.
Okay, and then also, but now I've been sitting in my room just watching TikToks, and then I went back out, and it's like starting to drain. So I'm not even seeing it on the plug even working.
Yeah, you've plugged it the wrong way. I'll come up and do it that way.
All right.
First world problems.
Yeah, I think Simon said that he might not be here tonight. To be fair, now I'm thinking about it.
I was wondering if you did, because I didn't see that message, but well, that's fair enough.
Didn't he say it on the call last week that he might not be here?
If I did, I zoned out.
Yeah.
Common problem.
I can't even remember what the call this week was now.
It was.
The winning bread.
Oh yeah, Fred, yeah.
No,
No. I think it would be difficult to break a bath.
Well, I just think we need to get a new one.
No.
It doesn't seem to work.
It will work. Have you got your mockies?
Yeah.
Okay. To be fair, Emmanuel might still be stuck in the laundrette if he's had to do a lot there.
Yeah, I think that's Maria must be.
Emmanuel's stuck in a washing machine.
I don't think it's a video I'd want to watch.
Sure.
Okay.
What am I looking at?
I'm fucking.
It's popcorn Little Moons.
What's the significance?
That's what Rachel's eating.
Popcorn Little Moons.
They're sweet and salty popcorn flavoured ice cream, basically. So they're little like rice dough balls of ice cream.
Oh, it's actually popcorn. So I thought that was a book for a minute.
Popcorn.
No, it's not popcorn. It's popcorn flavoured ice cream balls.
Yeah.
Grimbles.
They taste like the cookies that Emmanuel brought down
These ones, yeah.
and made and brought down.
Yeah. Alex, you want to try one? Because you can have one of these.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to eat all 6 watching Bridgerton, so it's up to you.
Bridgerton.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, open them. You're meant to wait 5 minutes, but you do you, boo.
Straight away.
Anytime this year, fucking hell.
Oh, I'm trying not to break things.
You can break the packet. That's better than the
Oh, okay. Well, that's all.
I was going to eat all 5 watching Netflix in a minute.
I'm going to eat all 5 watching this one.
So,
You're welcome. I don't know if you should wait a few minutes instead.
Yeah,
it does seem very cold.
Yeah, wait until it gets a bit softer, otherwise you'll be better.
Your the box says like you should wait 5 minutes before.
Let's have a look at it. Is it dusty?
No, not really.
Yeah, it's not dusty. The other ones have got cocoa all over them. That's a good idea. Yeah, it's going to make your hands taste like popcorn and your popcorn taste like hands.
That's how it's good rumblies that only hands.
Handy fact.
I don't know if you should keep it warm. Yeah.
Well, it's not that. I don't think it's warm as such.
Oh, my teeth. Okay.
He couldn't wait.
When you took a bite, I was kind of sat there going, holy shit, he's using his front teeth.
What do you think of it?
It's definitely strange.
It is strange, but it's good.
I'm not sure I left it longer. It's still quite frozen.
You should have left it under, but it is good. Now you know for next time, to be fair.
Well, I know if your own one.
The best one is because if you eat a whole packet in one, when you get to the end one, it's like the most melted. It's the best.
You guys don't know what you're missing.
You've had them before, haven't you, Ben?
Oh, bad man.
Little Moons?
They have. I don't think I had them by that name.
Oh, okay, right.
But they sound interesting. But are they like moon pie?
Well, I guess it's what I imagine moon pie to be. I'm not. What he is.
What a time to be alive.
Anyway, Pat, you're going to say an opening statement.
What's that?
Oh, fuck's sake. You were going to do your opening statement.
Opening state.
Yeah, it was all right, wasn't it?
Sweet.
Um,
I told you, Rachel, it was all right, wasn't it?
you know, it was. I liked it, but it was.
Hey, brother, where are they? It's all right, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't really listening.
I wouldn't say it was like one of my favourite Coen films. There were some bits that really made me laugh. I think parts of the middle sort of plodded along a little bit, and then the ending I got quite a bit of laughter out of. It's quite strange because like a lot of Coen fans loved this film the most, and I was like, I think it probably sits somewhere in the middle of the pack. I think there's like plenty of films that they've made that are far better.
Yeah,
But I enjoyed it.
I wouldn't put it on the same level as like The Big Lebowski and Fargo.
No, Big Lebowski, Fargo are definitely the two of their best films. I mean, it's not as bad as I forgot the name of it. It was that bad. I don't want to think about it again.
Death of Stalin.
Huh?
Death of Stalin.
Hail
Did
Caesar.
they make that one?
No, they didn't. I'm thinking Hail Caesar. Sorry.
Yeah, Hail Caesar. That was a piece of shit.
Oh, you're muted, Ben.
I was going to say Hellsea isn't anywhere near as bad as everyone makes it out to be.
I do agree.
It's worse.
I wasn't big on it, but it's not like. I mean, people talk about it as if it was just like Joel and Ethan Coen doing a poo. But
Yeah.
I think
that was Ethan Coen's last film. I forget the name of it. But that film was bloody terrible.
Well,
Oh, what was that?
oh, the film that just recently come out.
Yeah, Drive Away.
Yeah,
Baby.
I really like that one.
Oh, I hated it, man. I couldn't stand it because it was like he was trying to remake The Big Lebowski, but it was like you were one of the people who made it.
Rob's just anti-lesbian sex in films.
I like Love Lies Bleeding.
Oh, was there lesbians in that?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Quick watch.
Yeah. Oh, I had no idea.
Oh, I'm just gonna sort the bath out.
Oh, but Rob's having a bath.
No, I quite enjoyed it. Like it's something that I'm glad that I finally got round to watching, and I'm happy to have it as part of my collection. But like in terms of their stuff, it's not top tier.
Oh, that's a shame.
My second Coen Brothers.
I think
Trying to think. Go on.
it's because I've seen it for like ages ago. I've always kind of had it. It's been on the same level as Fargo and Big Lebowski to me because I've loved it since seeing those. So I guess with Pat, it's like he's only just seen it, and he has the other two on such a high bar, high level.
Yeah.
So if you saw it when I saw it, it might have made a difference.
See, those two films and Raising Arizona are some of my favourite Coen films. But when I eventually pick Raising Arizona, you guys might have the same sort of feeling that I had with this. So, by no means, it's not a bad film. Like my score suggests that I enjoyed it, but I think the way that it was described to me, I was expecting Big Lebowski sort of level. But in saying that, there were a couple of scenes that really made me laugh. So it wasn't a complete lost cause either. But like I say, they were more centered in the beginning and the end of the film.
Yeah, fair enough. I think when watching it again, it's not quite as funny as I remembered it to be. Like I was saying earlier, it kind of it isn't quite a comedy because it isn't consistently as funny as some of like the more classical stuff, but it still has moments of like hilarity.
I think a big problem with it is, and this might be a little bit bit left field and people might not like it, but George Clooney.
Oh,
I think he's a good actor. Like, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he carries comedy that well.
Pat hates George Clooney, confirmed.
Pat,
oh,
I'm surprised you said that. And the reason
Why?
I'm surprised you said it is because that was partly my problem as well.
oh.
Yeah, like I thought he played his character well, but there were some scenes that I felt were supposed to be funnier, but because of his style, I just don't think it comes off that funny.
I think for me,
Um,
it felt like he was acting it as if the joke was like a southern stereotype,
Yeah,
and I felt like he could have been a bit I suppose a bit less like he could have lent into it a little bit less. I suppose is what I'm saying.
yeah. I just don't think this is his genre.
To be fair,
Like
Interesting.
I can't think
he's
of a comedy that he's in. To be fair.
Fantastic, Mr. Fox.
Oh yeah, that's like
Burn off to reading.
yeah, but that's just his voice.
he's not.
I just think he's just funny, like as a visual actor more than anything else, because his expressions are. I think obviously you could say that's very like over the top silliness, but I think that's just me. I just find that quite amusing because of how he would just how he is, and it's like how the Coens have wrote him has this guy obsessed with his hair, and he just wants all this these
Just
perfect
don't let him
hairdress.
play Batman again.
Ironically, he was not the problem there. I think if a better script, he would have been pretty damn good.
He wasn't the problem, but he was part of it. Because I hated his Batman.
The only thing that I would like put the blame on him for is like accepting the role. I think like as an actor, he's fine.
Did you ever read the article where he offered refunds to everyone that watched it in the theatre?
Yeah, I remember seeing that actually.
Yeah, that was years after though. That's a bit like oh.
He also
a bit too much to like.
He also wrote to people to try and strike it off his filmography.
But he has got Revenge of the Killer Tomatoes on his filmography.
Yeah.
Well, I've never seen that, and I don't intend to unless someone picks it. Then I'll be, oh, fuck off.
You know,
Yeah, I
it's
think he's a better actor than people give him credit for. But I
No,
think the
no, he's a
trouble
very
is,
good actor. Like, there's a film that he was in a few years ago called Up in the Air that I quite like. That his character
oh yeah,
played really well.
the news anchors, right?
The what one?
Are they news anchors in it?
No, that he was the pilot.
Oh, the pilot one. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen it then.
I might pick it at some point. And I know there's a film that Rob hates called Money Monster that I quite liked. I'm just going through his recent roles that I liked. I loved the Oceans films.
I never got into the Asian films.
And there's something about like a crime film that sort of just talks to me. Like even if it's like a load of the ones that I watch are very different to each other.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I think it's well, to be fair, like I'd be interested to see the originals because I don't know if it's like a Lady Killers kind of thing where like I don't know. I suppose like with the Lady Killers, like the remake of it was kind of like riffing on something that was kind of like out of context for a modern film. I don't know if it's like a similar thing with the Asians films.
Yeah, I think Lady Killers, as far as I remember, they did what you're saying about this, is that they took the concept, which was London based and very UK kind of like very British thing, put it in the South, like this in America, like they did with this. And it didn't translate because it's so like the humor is so British and so kind of like 1950s British humor. And they put it in, let's just put it in the South. It's like, well, I don't think that quite works. But I think it works in their brother Will Arthur's case because I think the story and the vibe and the themes just kind of like slot quite well. I don't really need to do anything that they don't need the strain to make the narrative work under the same framing. But yeah, I think as Lady Killers proves, they don't quite always have the knack for adaptation in that way. But Vino.
I think you're right, man. Because it's maybe it is like what you were saying earlier. Maybe they've just got like that frame of reference because that's like their world, and it's just like adapting films into it. But then I don't know, because I mean Fargo is like the complete opposite of that, because that's like right at the top.
Yeah, that's like the northest part.
And then
it's Team Central.
I don't know where that was, but that was kind of just like
That was near Las Vegas, surely.
well, it was sort
Fargo.
of like, didn't really sort of no Big Lebowski.
Oh, right.
That
Las
was,
Vegas, lots of snow, right?
that's one of the best things about Fargo actually, is because it's like because it's in Minnesota and they got a vocal coach for all the actors to get the weird accent that they've got.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like it almost like sounds Dutch because it's like
It does, yeah.
It's Canadian.
I guess it's I guess if you're doing like the Great Depression, like you do it in the South, I don't know a lot about it, but I'm thinking of like of Mice and Men and stuff like that. That's more southern sort of based. So I don't know. I'm seeing it as more of like a modern mythology, but like mythology in the sense that it's quite far away, but it's quite close for some people.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm repeating myself, but my point is like I don't know if like the geographical locations like important to them necessarily.
Yeah.
It's sort of just it's a modern Odyssey or Modestny or something.
Yeah,
It's
the
see. Like
modern
the same.
Odyssey. Oh, do you know that what is his name? Is it Tim Blake Nelson? Or am I getting them mixed up with Tim Blake Nelson, who plays Delmar. He was the only one in the entire cast and crew that had read Homer's Odyssey. The Coens hadn't even read it. They just kind of knew it from pop culture.
Oh.
Like Garland.
I mean, to be fair, like I suppose they got away with it, but still.
I did enjoy the characterization like right from the beginning actually, because I think that's just like quite a small interaction at the beginning, and it just kind of like tells you who all three of them are, and you got George Clooney, and he's like quick talking, and he's like the leader, and then you got John Turturro, and he's definitely a bit thick. But he's like, no, I'm the leader, and like then just going like, right, well, it's between us two then, isn't it? Like it just, it's just, if let's put it to a vote in that case, and then just like Tim Blake Nelson in the middle, and he just goes like, yeah, I'll come along, and I was just like,
yeah, I agree with both of y'all.
You just get a sense for all of them very quickly.
Yeah. Well, that's quite true.
I was wondering. He was trying to call for the washing machine, but sadly,
I left my phone in the dryer.
Oh my god!
Oh, he's back.
Oh, he's back. He's good.
It dried off. Just put it in some rice, Emmanuel.
Don't trust your stepbrother, Emmanuel.
Hello, sorry, I can't hear what you were saying. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You're right, man. You sound knackered.
Well, I am knackered, but I'm also pissed because my just to try and join the call. Long story short, for some reason, maybe it's just my iPhone that has this one problem, but it will not let me join a Skype call from Discord, a Discord link. It keeps trying to open up the call within a browser window within Discord. And then, on top of all that, at one point it connected, but I wasn't able to really do anything. I could hear you guys. I closed every single app on my phone, but somehow it still connected to the call, but I can't do anything. In the end, like, no amount of like clicking the link or having it open a different way. I had to copy the link, then paste it into Safari. Then, as it's trying to open the link, click a pop-up that is usually you click to have it shortcut into the app and then go in through that way. Because if I left it for a few more seconds, then it tries to open it up within a web browser as well and then causes more problems. So sorry, I've been fighting with this for
That sounds more like what Pet went through when you were doing Skype provisioning, actually.
Yeah, it does.
'Cause it just does not want to shut down when you close it. What the hell?
yeah.
Is the app downloaded as an app on your phone through App Store?
Yeah.
Oh, so that is weird then. Because
It's
usually just with it, open it through that, it would have the stupid web browser version. It's like open this within Skype, the app. Do it now.
That's probably a minute.
yeah, it's a weird. Oh, Alec at Rob or Alex at Rob's. Okay, cool.
Hi, Rob's not at mine.
You don't have those walls, do you? Unless you you did some renovation.
That's all.
If the walls could talk.
Yeah, I do copy Rob at everything.
We've both got wooden front rooms somehow.
I just mine up.
Oh yeah, but yeah, Ben, sorry to answer the question, got distracted. It seems like it's almost like a compatibility glitch with Discord and iOS itself, because I never had the problem with getting onto Skype from Messenger. It would just open straight away from
That's
Messenger into Skype, or I had the option of opening it within Safari after it tries to open it within an in-app window, and then it will just open up in Skype. But today, it just was like, no, if you try and do that, we're not going to let you get in the call. We're just going to bring you to your login on Skype on Safari.
But why?
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm here, and
Oh, brother.
I know for next time what to do.
Oh. Anyway.
Daniel, why did you pick this film?
Cool. Sorry it's been so long. Anyway, can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
A fan in the background. Okay. I haven't checked my sound canceling settings. Anyway, so as I think I said a little bit about before or alluded to, I picked this it initially because of The Northman. So after watching The Northman, I wanted to pick something that was inspired or referenced some kind of mythology, legends, etc., etc. And so I went on a little rabbit hole of looking for lots of films that refer to different things that weren't necessarily, I say, huge films that everyone in the moms have already seen, like I don't know, 300 or something, or like just something that I haven't seen before. It's like, I don't know. Eventually, I came across this film. There were a few random other ones. that I haven't picked. There might I might pick them eventually, but I was just like, oh, this seems kind of fun. Seems kind of funny. Um, and then I eventually went, you know what? I'll pick this. It refers to Homer's Odyssey. I know it's quite loose. It's reference to this, and you could also say it's just basically Coen Brothers um um taking inspiration from Wizard of Oz again, like a lot of their stuff in different ways. Um, but yeah, that is why I picked it. I'm not sure if that made any sense, but yeah.
How'd you like it? Because I was watching this whole thing and going like, Emmanuel's not gonna like this, and then I was like, oh, he picked it.
Interesting. I mean, saying that, I don't watch most of the things I before I pick them, so that can always happen. Um, but I actually really liked it. The only thing I had seen was the trailer, and what stood out to me. It'll be interesting later to hear why you think I didn't like it, or straight after. But in the trailer, the part where George Clooney and the other two they get onto the train only to fall back off again. And it's that kind of almost slapstick moment of just like, "Ah," like in a cartoon. And I was just like, you know what? This is probably gonna be a bunch of laugh and fun. Yeah, let me pick this. I probably will like this. And I did. I as yeah, as you saw from my score. Um yeah, I really liked it. It was I didn't realize the music was as big as it was, and obviously we can talk about that afterwards. I did like the music. They did well. All the kind of country musicians they got to singing it and whatnot. Um, it's the I think it's a shame we don't really get to hear George Clooney's singing voice because he did put quite a bit of effort into actually.
Is that his actual
Oh.
singing?
Hmm?
Is that his
Oh,
actual voice?
No,
Okay.
like
it was
there's
dubbed.
yeah. There's a moment we might hear him or someone else in like some kind of other type of scene, but in all the kind of proper singing scenes, yeah, it's the country singers. Um, yeah, dubbing us. It's like, oh, well, he tried. Um, but yeah, it was great fun. It wasn't. It obviously it's a comedy. It's not taking itself seriously, and the way everything was done and delivered. I was like, you know what? This is great fun. And for people who didn't read the Odyssey, I think like the Coen brothers, I can't remember who, I think one of the crew, I can't remember who, but someone on set did read it, but it wasn't the Coen brothers. It did have a lot of references.
It was Tim Blake Nelson.
Thank you. Who does he play?
He played Denmark.
The short guy.
Yeah. Oh, Denmark, you know the little guy.
Wait,
Doesn't know him.
wait, which the actual little guy?
No. It was Tim Blake Nelson was the one that was so obsessed about poor Pete becoming a frog.
Okay, cool. I thought so, and I was like, wait, but then he said little guy. Did I get it wrong? Was it actually the little guy?
I didn't say midget. I meant the short person.
Yeah. But
Person short.
that's cool. But yeah, I was just like, it does have a lot of references and different things to different parts in like the Odyssey. So I guess they did know quite a bit, even if they didn't like read it. They just knew a lot from growing up. But yeah, it was great fun. Yeah, lots of references. I had a great time. Um, my wife watched, me and my wife watched it together, and she liked it as well, and she appreciated the references to the Greek classic, which she really likes the Greek classics.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was curious, Amanda, like how you found it because of like, well, that being the sort of like not the place you're from, but like the region that you're from.
Yeah, I didn't actually know of this film until recently looked for it. And I was surprised that I hadn't heard seen this film, or if I heard of it, then I must have forgotten it because I didn't know this existed.
Mm.
But is it true to the South American? No, I say South American, the southern state experience.
I mean, it was in the 1930s. So, wait,
That's fine. That's just a
Very
text.
different.
okay,
No, that's
my
not.
headphones were trying to connect, but yeah, it was like, yeah, it was in a very different time. So maybe I could ask my grandma.
You've all ran for the train and stuff, and you've had to like kind of like leap onto the carriage while it's still moving. We've all been there. That's what you guys do in America.
um, but my wife said like the politics have barely moved on, so that's that. Um, but
Pretty
otherwise,
bad.
like in terms of like what we're kind of told in other things that are usually shown, it's what I would expect. You've got a lot of the kind of the songs. Obviously, they have their creative take on it. You have like some of the songs were from existing bands already. The Chain Gang, like some of the songs the prisoners were singing at first and whatnot. Um, but yeah, to be honest, like even within this kind of satirical nature and whatnot, it seemed it seemed pretty, I say, close to reality from what I know. Obviously, it's a nice version of reality. Like it's yeah, like in real life, things could have been much worse in different ways. But this is a comedy. We don't really, obviously, we're not here for the realism. That's not why we came here.
Yeah, no, I was surprised you liked it so much with the animal violence was well. Because I was about to go, hey, yeah, you might actually really like this, and then I remembered that a cow got shot and then ran over, and I was like, you do love cows. Maybe you don't want to see this. She also loves frogs, so maybe she don't want to see this.
What?
Eb.
Yeah,
Ah, oh man. Those, I mean, I guess maybe she likes quite a few different animals, but those specifically, that's a shame.
not cane toads. Cane toads. She used to drive around. Yeah, cane toads are like a pest in Australia. So her and dad used to like drive off into a field, and basically they were just pests. So you could do whatever.
Toads, excuse me.
Yeah, so they used to golf with cane toads. They used to just line up cane toads and just smack them with clubs. So cane toads can fuck off, but no, they're poisonous.
But that's even worse to hit him into the distance.
Nah, it's fine.
I've got a great toe allergy.
No.
Tone canes.
But yeah,
Ooh.
big fan of little frogs and cows, especially because like it was just like I don't know. It was very sobering. So we just kind of going like everything's fine, everything's cool, and then the cow gets shot, and you're like fucking hell, what? And yeah, then you see it get hit by a car, and I was just like, oh wow, okay, whoa, alrighty. I was just yeah.
This is what we're doing.
Yeah. Like, it was definitely sort of like strange violence, so maybe it was very a you pick, but I don't know.
Apparently, it's one of. I mean, you guys can tell me, but apparently, it's one of Coen Brothers' least violent picks.
Yeah, apparently it is. You're right. It says it all, really.
I was just running through the Big Lebowski, and I was like, bowling ball to the penis is quite. Yeah, that was pretty big.
Yeah, that's probably a bit. Let's think. In this, you've got a lot of the violence. It's very slapstick and very much punch to the face, or kind of like, I don't know. It's very kind of up here. Even when the burning cross falls down, you don't see it hit him.
Yeah.
It cuts away. I think the most brutal part is when forgot the name of the actor from the one-eyed guy.
John Goodman.
Yeah, who's also a reference to, is it Polyphemus? Polyphemus, a Cyclops from Odysseus. Odysseus from the Odyssey. Ah,
Odyssey. It's
yeah, it's what confuses me is that, or kind of confuses my brain, is that Ulysses is the name of Odysseus, but from the Roman adaptation of the legends of the
Ulysses.
Romanization, sorry, of the story. Whereas Odysseus is the name of Ulysses's character in the Odyssey. Kind of like how you have Hercules from Rome, but Heracles from Greek. But the stories are different, a bit different in the different versions. Anyway, but yeah, Polyphemus is a Cyclops instead of a one-eyed guy.
I'm a Cyclops, but I prefer a one-eyed guy. If you don't mind.
But in the
Could be called Angry Penis.
Oh, man. But in the Odyssey, so he does in the Odyssey he tries to eat them. Oh, he starts eating some of Odysseus's men. And Odysseus and one other guy, I think they two, yeah, and some other guys of his start hiding, like just hanging on some huge sheep. Like they're invited to his cave by him. So they go into his cave. They're not invited. Sorry, there's so many.
Camilla can come on if she wants. I'm very interested to hear the connection between these two stories. So yeah,
You can
if we've got an
if
actual
you
consultant in the room.
talk, or you. Okay, a moment. Okay, carry on talking. You're not.
It's just me and Rob were trying to work out what the connection was between the Odyssey and the setting. So yeah, if you if I mean I can't remember when I actually read the Odyssey last. So if you've got an actual
It would have been uni.
working knowledge with this, then that'd be very helpful.
Read it for probably like 7 or 8 years now, but I have read it.
Got them.
I got the book out so that I could show him stuff. So yeah, I've read it a few times. So the main connection is that obviously not obviously, the Odyssey takes place after the Trojan War, and it's been 10 years since the Trojan War finished, and it starts off at Odysseus's house with his son and his wife Penelope, who has 50 suitors that are trying to marry her because her husband hasn't come home from war and he's been gone for 20 years. And when we meet Odysseus, several chapters later, he basically just wants to get home. He's trying to get home. He's being kept captive by this goddess who's like in love with him, and he's basically her sex slave. And eventually he escapes, then he gets to another island, and he tells the story of all the things that happened to him as he like tried to get home and how he ended up at Calypso's place. So I guess that's probably the biggest connection between it. That is basically this guy who's trying to get home to his wife and his kid. And lots of things keep happening. Odysseus's character is really arrogant, a lot like George Clooney's character. And Odysseus's men are, it's not that they're stupid, it's just that lots of stupid things happen. And there's, when he leaves Troy, he's got a few ships worth of guys, and then thanks to a few incidents and things that happen, by the time he gets to, when he washes up on Calypso's island, it's just him, and he's like the only one who returns home because his guys are kind of stupid. So I guess that's the connection with the guys being the film being so dumb. And then there's a few there's not parallels, but just it doesn't like adapt the story in a way that it's like, oh, this happens because this happened in the original story. It's just like at one point when Odysseus and his men are trying to get home, they end up on this island with this witch called Circe who turns other men into she turns men into pigs. So I guess that's like the connection with the guy being turned into a toad. One of the first things that happened is they wash up on an island, go into a cave, start eating food. Turns out to be Polyphemus's cave. Then Odysseus, who's very cunning, works out a way for them to get out of there and blinds Polyphemus in the process. And in this story, that's how he becomes to be cursed, which is why he spends so long traveling around. But like in the movie, obviously, doesn't really.
He takes his money,
Yeah, but it
so
doesn't.
then it takes them longer.
I guess so. That's what he does. And then there's also the sirens, and there's, I can't remember this bit at all, but at one point Odysseus and a few of his men go into the underworld. So I guess there's like the whole making the deal with the devil, and there's a few bits about the underworld, not bits, but like nods to that. And then after that, it's only really characters having the same names. And the opening of the movie, the like "Tell Me Muse" bit, is basically the opening of the book. I think that's it.
It's just different references throughout.
Yeah.
Like so when George Clooney talks about, oh, finding the ring at the bottom of the lake would be a miracle or whatnot, is like a reference to one of the stories where, is it that, I can't remember, Theseus, maybe some other character that's not in the film.
That's not a story in the Odyssey.
Oh, so that's another one in mythology in general. But Poseidon, who is in the Odyssey or mentioned in the Odyssey many times, there's a story when someone's trying to find a golden ring for him at the bottom of this like crazy huge, like it's, I guess, almost ocean or lake type body of water, whatever. And like George Clooney's character is making a comparison about him finding it compared to that.
Sorry, but that's interesting because Poseidon is the god of the ocean, so like you probably would have known where that ring was.
It's like the whole kind of thing as well, where the authorities always seem to kind of find him or know where he is or know where he's doing or where he's going. And it's the same in the stories, but in terms of the gods, because they're gods, they always know where he's going. And sometimes they'll just show up. Like Athena will just show up each.
Athena shows up. Athena loves like in a romantic way, but she loves Odysseus and she's like his main helper. And at one point she asks Zeus to do something to like help him get home, but Zeus won't do anything because of Poseidon, who is Zeus's brother. Poseidon hates Odysseus because Poseidon is the Cyclops' dad. So Poseidon doesn't want Odysseus to get home because he blinded his son. So the gods kind of know what's going on, but Athena shows up a whole lot. And then because it's mythology, they run into lots of other random gods along the way.
And even with the, like, I think it's a little reference. I don't think people really mention it, but when George Clooney, first time he gets home, like before they kind of show up and tie them up and say you're gonna have to be hung and whatnot. Like after him and his wife, consoling, as long as he finds the ring, they're gonna get married. And the guy with the black shades shows up with his dog and whatnot.
Yeah.
It almost reminds, it's almost like a reference to the point where when Odysseus finally does get home, his dog is brought out by the caretaker, the one who's looking after the dog. Is it not?
He gets home and
The dog dies.
yeah, but basically when he goes up to Troy, he has this dog. And when he gets home, he goes to the goat herder's hut, like because it's obviously ancient times. He's got a lot of staff, so he goes to the goat herder's hut because he needs to kind of hide there. And the goat herder has been looking after his dog because no one else wanted to. And the second the dog sees him, this like 20-odd-year-old dog finally dies because his master's returned home. It's just a bit more detailed than what you said. I always remember that bit because it's such an emotional bit. It's really sad.
That sounds like a film club pick, a certain film club pick that does.
The one that you rated 10.
It was one that I rated 10.
Oh, I thought it might have been.
Begrudgingly.
What was the film called?
It's called Hatchie.
Oh no, it's actually
Yes.
the one as well about the dog that's really bad. And he causes loads of drop, but the whole movie's about this dog.
I don't know. It wasn't one we picked though.
John Wick.
Was it not Hatchie?
His dog is dead during most of it.
I feel that's just a common thing with dogs now. It's not that special.
A common thing for dogs to die.
Yeah, common thing for dogs to stick around for much and then go, they're here.
Yeah.
Well,
Ian knew that I was thinking about.
Marley and Me. I haven't seen that film.
Let's go see
Well,
that.
Hatchie?
No, Marley and
Marley and
Oh, no, I never seen that either.
that's the one.
I've not seen it, but I've heard it's like crushing.
Well,
It is.
I used to
Let's go
make
see it.
make fun out of my brother because he keeps crying during it.
How many times has he watched it?
I think he's watched it 3 or 4 times. I've never watched it myself.
But yeah,
Oh,
if you
Is
watch
that
it,
no, yeah.
apparently, yeah, it's very sad.
I like watching Owen Wilson cry.
I just don't like watching sad films.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pat.
A bit too late now.
It's fine. I've watched too many fucking soul-crushing films in this club.
This blasted club.
I was just like, I'm not like, I'm sure you don't love them, but I was just like, oh wait, it's kind of like a re-realization. It's like, oh man, I'm sorry, that's mostly what I pick.
It's almost exclusively what you pick.
They're all sad. And all very low. Some are more violent than others, but yeah, they're all sad.
Every time we see it coming up, it's like, we're in for a sad one.
Well, you can be guaranteed my next picks won't be sad.
It could
You might think of it in a way where you're sad watching it, but they're not sad films.
To be fair, I remembered who they're directed by today, and I was like,
I mean, were you sad watching Lava Boy and Shot Girl?
oh, I was. I found that so
I was just bored.
like, why has Robert Rodriguez spent his time on this?
He said much better stuff, but then again, there's a big chunk of his career where he's just wasted his time and budget.
Well,
And
yeah,
everyone
that
else's
budget
time.
was totally wasted in that regard.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, he could have literally just fucking donated the entire budget to a homeless shelter instead of making that film. That film just didn't deserve to be made.
No, it was.
And to be fair, he should have been struck off for making that film.
Oh man.
No second chances.
Nah, fuck that. There's
Right.
another chance he could make another one of them films.
Oh man. This is why it made such a great bad movie. You
Yeah.
see? It just elicits all these responses, but it's just so good.
Whereas my bad
everyone's-
film, people enjoyed. Rob's film, most people enjoyed.
Howard the Duck was
Yeah.
the most underrated film of all time.
It was interesting.
I mean, to be fair,
That's
our
more
special guest
comedy
round,
than all time.
our special guest round has a sad film that I don't like. So, you know,
A sad film.
That's gonna be
yeah,
interesting.
my pick from my mum.
Oh, you're doing that again now.
Yeah, you seem quite sad that I wasn't gonna do it, so I was like, oh, okay, I'll do it.
Sad that you weren't going to do it. I really like that film.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan.
Yeah, sorry, you guys I think we've all in a way said statements, but like if obviously you can carry it on because obviously we talked a lot. Sorry about that.
No, that's all right.
Basically, I said earlier that I enjoyed it, but it was sort of like a mid-tier Coen Brothers film for me. Like there was elements of it that I found really funny, but then I felt like the middle of it plodded along a bit. But at the same time, I do need to watch it again when I've got more time.
Yeah.
Could have got Alex to repeat himself, but he's disappeared. He's now 2 cushions.
I was always 2 cushions.
and an arm.
Sure.
I'm not sure what I'm gonna score this, to be honest. I'm figuring it out in real time.
Ooh.
Alec has not screwed his own film.
Considering the months, he's like scraws.
I was gonna watch it today, but Rachel said no. So
Oh, damn that, Rachel.
You've not watched it yet.
I watched it one time.
Oh.
You know, Alex, like he needs to watch it twice
I need to watch
to like
it.
score it.
Especially one like this. So there's some very straightforward ones that I don't really need to watch it again. But this one, I'm like, no, I need to, I need to reacclimatize.
And I did say that like my main problem with the sort of the comedy with it is George Clooney, because I don't think he's got great comedic timing.
to be
Like
honest,
I think I liked him in the film. I just felt like the scenes that he was in that were supposed to be funny, I don't think were as funny as they could have been. The other comedy film I was thinking of was The Men That Stare at Goats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that wasn't great. That one.
I actually liked the film, but I don't think it was as funny as the trailer made it look.
No, you're right. The trailer was great, and I've never been disappointed.
Yeah, so like he's not. Good
It
at
wasn't
comedy.
bad, but it wasn't like one I'd want to watch it again.
But John Turturro was.
Oh, John Turturro and Timberlake Nelson. I love them both.
Well, that's the thing. The whole Toad thing was probably my favourite scene in the film.
Yeah, it was mine.
It really gave me a belly laugh, and I was like, oh, this film's going to be great if the rest of it's like this. Then I was a little bit disappointed when I had like a 50 minutes of like, It wasn't like a terrible story or anything, but I was sort of expecting one thing and got something different.
What scene did you really like from that film?
When Tim Blake Nelson sort of wakes up and just sees John Turturro's clothes neatly on the floor, and then sees a toad crawl out of it.
Oh,
Oh my God! It turned Pete into a horny toad.
Oh man, I've never laughed so much.
that was great. It's just like no, I don't think he's actually a toad. No, he's a toad. It's Pete. Pete. It's like you know what? I'm just gonna leave him. Let's just go. Like I don't know where he is, but something's happened to him. Like why is his clothes just there?
Yeah, so Tim Blake Nelson is sort of freaking out, and like George Clooney's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, it's like, of course it's Pete. Look at him, and he just throws him the toad, and it's like, look at his
Oh,
face.
the other bit that really made me laugh was John Goodman crushing the toad and then throwing him against the tree.
Oh,
I mean, obviously, it's if you think of it as like it's a toad, it's horrible, but I think it's the symbolism of it being John Turturro's character. I just found it really funny with Tim
Yeah,
Blake
that's
Nelson's
the
reaction.
yeah.
Before anyone thinks that I enjoy seeing toads get squished to death.
oh man.
Well, thank goodness it wasn't. Oh, fuck you.
Yeah, that wasn't actually Pete. I was just like, oh, poor toad.
See,
Why
the
you
thing
gonna
was
squint it like that?
desecrating itself for the crucifix. That would have been hilarious.
But in link to that, another great scene is when they go to that restaurant, and he's like, "Oh, you can't display a toad in a fine restaurant like this," and he's like, "I don't think it's right keeping him under wraps. Like we're just ashamed of him." They just have the little shoebox on the table the whole time.
Yeah, I'm just imagining them seeing it and be like, yeah, we gonna eat that. We gonna
Yeah.
drink that.
Well, the two of us are fixing to fornicate. That bit would crack me up.
And they just like, huh? It's like, oh yeah, don't mind, my friend. But like when like John, like one that guy coming in and then says like, oh yeah, come just pay for my bill and then we'll go talk somewhere. It's just like I'm thinking, dude, I know Ulysses' character is arrogant and
Yeah.
he's got his own things going on, but it's like, dude, you just met this guy. Why are you paying for his meal? Like
Yeah.
what? Like what? No.
Well, that point of the story, it's kind of like you think Ulysses is kind of like the smart one of the three, but at that point he kind of like he's just as dumb as the other two. He literally is. He's kind of like he's just until he gets literally whacked in the face by John Goodman.
He's what you
Yeah.
call a
Yeah.
well-spoken dumbass.
Yeah, he's like, what's all this about? And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's when he knows that he's been had. And it's like, why didn't you see this coming? You're too gullible and it's too nice.
It was, to be honest, that is very much like Odysseus as well. The
Yeah.
character, yeah, you just like the character he's referring to. So it makes sense in that way, but it's just it's just like, dudes, what are you? You are an idiot. And he sees the guy getting whacked, and he's just like, I don't get it. It just keeps eating corn. It's like you're about to get whacked. And just sits there and takes it.
Joe Pesci is screaming at the screen. You're gonna get whacked.
But oh, what film? What's that from?
Goodfellas,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
he's getting whacked.
Oh, bad. Oh,
That sounded like a euphemism for a minute.
it's true. I mean, it could have been. Um, the in reference to like you saying the comedy thing or not as funny. I think that's more of a It's a show. That's it's a sh- This is it's not the right way to say this. That probably represents more the Coen brothers than George Clooney and the actors themselves. Since a lot of the comedy, obviously, and comedic timing is in the editing, obviously the Coen brothers would have liked that specific comedic timing that the editors kind of put in and would have wanted that. So uh,
Yeah.
if it was obviously directed by someone else, then maybe it would have landed a bit differently with that. But yeah, I didn't really think too much about that until today. Like I was listening to this podcast and they was kind of talking about just how important editing is. It's like, or how funny you can make something, or how not funny, and the comedic timing, and this and that. And I was like, oh yeah, that's true. Like the editors they can really they have a lot of power when it comes to a lot of stuff. God, that's a good point.
Oh, we can't even mute him tonight.
Oh crap! Is that Ellie?
Yeah.
But
Let me try and tickle his cheek.
His cheek. Which one?
I don't know, but they might be laying cheek to cheek tonight. Oh, just put lots of cushions on top of him. Take him off the couch. Put them over his head to create a dampener.
Yeah, just literally put a cushion on his face and just hold down for about 2 minutes.
Accidentally.
You want to
No,
make
not
Alec a
that.
dampener?
Fuck you guys.
I'm just trying to create a silencer. Ben's trying to kill you. There's a big difference here.
Isn't that just the way?
That's a brilliant line. I'm going to write that down to use it in something.
I'm trying to give you a silencer. Ben's trying to kill you. He's always trying to kill me.
Always.
Always.
Oh man.
I get bored sometimes. I go, Ben, what are you doing? He's like, trying to kill you. Well, I knew it. I knew it.
Again, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
One of the things that surprised me about the film wasn't that I don't know was like how big and popular the music was. Like, cause like the music, like the album, like was it? Yeah, trying to think if it was the soundtrack sold 5 million copies.
Oh,
They
wow.
made a documentary from like just centered around making the music for the film, which was
Right.
cool in itself. And like from that, they made 3 follow-up albums, two concert tours, won the Country Music Awards for
Oh, wow.
album of the year and single of the year. Single Man of Constant Sorrow, of course. This is a great song. And it won 5 Grammys. And it hit #1 on the Billboard charts for like the week of March 15th, 2002. And then 63 weeks after its release, for over a year of the actual release of the film, it was on the Billboard. Like, I guess the top 100, I assume.
Oh.
But I was like I liked the music. Don't get me wrong. I didn't think anything bad of it. I was like, this is some good stuff. Yeah, this is good country music. I have no problem with this. And I didn't realize it was that big. I was just like, man, to be this film, what film year was this film again?
2000.
2000.
It's already nearly 25 years old.
And that's
Fuck.
why it wasn't on my radar. There was just so many things like let's see, 2000. I came over. I thought it was 2000. I really came over 2001. I think. Came over 2001. 2000. Yes, I was in. I was in Atlanta at that point, but obviously, I'm in primary school. I'm not paying really attention to a lot of things, and parents weren't taking me to see that film.
Mm.
So, and I never went back to watch. No one really talked to me about it. I think so. Yeah, I think it just flew. It just flew under my radar, and I never noticed it. Yeah, the fact, like, man, and good stuff. I mean, they did all the great on it. So,
This is how Ben must feel when he's sleeping near me or
Yeah,
trying
it's
to
true.
sleep.
It
But
was.
that
It
sound
was
is from my ass instead of my mouth.
Either way, it's not nice.
oh man, I was gonna say it was fine sleeping in the same room as you
Yeah, to be
before.
fair, as loud as you were, it wasn't as loud as Alec is right now.
What about Humphrey?
Well, Humphrey, he wasn't always consistent, so that's the thing. When he was bad, but otherwise he was solid.
'Cause me and Humphrey at
Both
one
ends.
point were having like battle farts.
Dan's a weird sleeper though, because he kind of like, I don't know if it's like because he's dreaming or whatever, but sometimes he sounds like terrified in his sleep. Like you can hear him going like, ah, ah.
He sleeps like the dog that he is.
Yeah, he just says like.
I didn't know Dan has that as well because I know Coral has it properly.
Oh,
Yeah, she definitely does.
Like, yeah, she actually got. Did he? Yeah, he accidentally hit her.
No, I thought Coral hit him and called Humphrey like a slag or something. You better motherfucking.
I know she did say
Yeah.
some stuff, like when she woke up the first time I was sleeping there. But then in response to it, then he accidentally hit her.
Oh man.
It's just like, ah, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. She's like, it's okay, it's okay. It's like, ah. That's a slightly over dramatization, but that was pretty much how Humphrey was acting, to be honest. And Cora was just like, it's okay. Like, look, it didn't hurt. Just chill.
Just don't do it again.
Oh man, yeah. Anyway, sorry, off topic. Oh, that's how we got onto this topic. I was thinking, I know I talk about a lot of random stuff, but how did we get onto different people sleeping? And I was just like, oh yeah.
Alec.
So it explains itself.
Yes.
It sounds like you're gargling and then like blowing raspberries. It's really.
My bad. It's a too comfortable floor.
It is quite comfortable, to be fair.
Also, on a related note, just before the film, like I was so sleepy myself. Oh yeah, I didn't answer you properly before, Rob. You was like, you sound knackered. It's like, yeah, I am. Basically, it's been a really long day.
Yeah, I know.
It's been wait. I was gonna start singing some really old school song. Anyway,
American sorrow.
and oh yeah, you already saw me in the laundrette. I kept saying laundromat. My wife kept correcting me. Anyway,
Same thing though, isn't it?
it is obviously it's just
It's
laundromat.
a laundrette.
Yeah, and I find it laundrette doesn't really stay in my head, so I always tend to call it laundromat. Anyway, um, I had to carry this really big bag of what was that, wood chips and stuff for kind of plants and stuff. I was just very tired today. It was hard to walk. I had a muscle strain with my lower right back. It was just everything was happening. And right for the call, after I asked what time are we like doing it, I basically fell asleep straight away. I was struggling to stay awake, sat up like this, and then my wife forgot to wake me up because she's just playing games. She's like, "Hey, this is like 30 minutes ago." I was just like, what? That was initially why I wasn't responding, because I wasn't awake. And I was struggling with the stupid, obviously, Apple and Discord. It just, no, Discord's fine. Apple's got issues. But anyway, but yeah.
Damn straight they do. I sensed passion at the end of that, so I woke up.
Oh, Emmanuel said Apple's got issues and he's completely disconnected.
Sorry for snoring, everybody.
Oh yeah. Reminds me, where's my film showing?
Oh, Pet's just realised it is playing somewhere, right? I hope it is on Paramount Plus, right?
It should be on Apple TV at least.
Oh, okay. That'll explain.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's all right. We'll sort it out, Alec. Don't worry. Oh man. Obviously, we can do things in different, in any order. But did you want to talk about favorite scenes or favorite moments? We can talk about all sorts. Obviously, I was just thinking since Alex tired.
My favourite scene is definitely the train one.
Which one?
The train where they get pulled off. I think if it was more of that kind of stupid like Three Stooges humour, I'd have liked it a lot more. But I think where I kind of struggled with it was like it felt like a bit of a weird sort of balance. Like I don't know if they got it spot on, because I think I think now we've started talking about the Odyssey a bit more. I'm a bit like it's kind of falling into place a bit more. But the way I was seeing it was that you kind of had like the Three Stooges kind of humour, but it was almost as if it was like not wanting to do it, even though it was doing it occasionally. And that was where I was kind of going like, I'm not really sure what it's trying to be. But yeah, I wish there was more of it. I love that kind of like. It's kind of like I was saying earlier. It's kind of like humor without intent. Like it's just like this is stupid. That's enough.
Yeah. Oh man, I forgot. Yeah, that was one of those things. Like they did take inspiration from the Three Stooges as well.
Mm.
And yeah, that kind of humor in these three guys going about doing this nonsense and hijinks ensue. But yeah, that train one is great. It's just the whole out of anyway for me anyway. The whole kind of like, oh yeah, especially the introduction to these three, just like, okay, this is what we're in for. This is what how it's gonna be. He's just chilling, not even properly making sure everyone else is on. He's just like, yeah, like, do you any of you like, blacksmith or whatever kind of thing, work with metal? And then they're just like, ah, and he's not even noticing. And it's just like, ah. It's just great.
Yeah.
You're gonna hate me for this, but my favorite scene was the song.
Oh, of course it was.
Which song?
The country song.
There was multiple.
Which one? Man,
At the end.
Constant Sorrow.
Are you talking a bit at the end?
The recording booth.
Yeah,
Oh,
the first
that one.
recording of Man of Constant Sorrow.
I instantly went, that's going on my playlist, and yeah, I know.
Nice.
Me now.
To be honest, it probably will go on my playlist as well. Like,
I think like because I was saying earlier, like the singing scenes were the ones where I was kind of going like, I don't know. But the one that got me the most was the sirens. I really Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't fond of that.
I wasn't into that scene.
Oh yeah, that was I was more listening to the lyrics in that one. I was just like, this is messed up. Like
It's
what
just
the
like
sirens were saying. It's just like your dad, your mom. It's like, wait, what? The devil? This
It's-
is
it's what
interesting.
it's what they were singing about, and like the way the scene was presented. I was just kind of going, I think I understand what you're going for, but this is all really uncomfortable. Like, kind of-
Yeah, it's
it's-
like you're trying to be sirens who are luring people to their death. Okay, cool, because they were also in the original story. Yeah, but at the same time, it's like I don't I don't know. Like this is different.
That's the thing, like for me, I'd be going, you are ineffective sirens, because I'm turning around and going the other way. I don't want to stay here for this.
It obviously it's yeah. I wouldn't blame you.
Yeah.
But these three guys didn't have the sense, as we've seen.
Uh,
That's the problem.
that's an interesting thing, though, the sirens, because I wondered if that was a connection with it being in like Southern America, because like there's a few films like Big Fish has something that's kind of referencing the sirens, and then I can't remember what film it is now. Maybe No Country for Old Men.
Mm.
I'm not sure.
No, I think you're thinking of Ice Age 4.
I'm not sure.
Ice Age 4 Continental Drift. Yeah,
I'm
there's
dubious.
sirens in it.
I'm dubious. But yeah, no, there's a few films set in like the southern states where there's like references to sirens or something that obviously comes from like the siren myth.
I'm pretty sure Ice Age 4 Continental Drift predates the Odyssey, actually.
I mean, I've not seen it, but I don't think it does.
No, it does not at all. I've seen it not too long ago as well. Again,
Look it up.
However, to be fair, Alex has a point. It does predate the Odyssey because of how it's when it's set. It's set before the Odyssey, therefore.
Fucking.
Don't
It's set before the Ice Age, so there we go.
but
Set before
in
the
terms-
Ice Age.
oh man,
you know.
that's a good one. Oh. But like in terms of what the reference, like I don't know, maybe there's a particular story, like you said, Rob, that's it's referencing because otherwise, like yeah, you had like besides them washing their clothes in the river, which was very normal. Like you didn't just go down to the river to pray. You also went down to the river to do your clothes, get the water, a whole bunch of stuff.
Master.
Very useful. Huh?
Hmm?
What?
Nothing.
I'm distracted now because it's like, wait, what did he say? I don't know. I was making a reference to a song and then carrying on. And then anyway, oh no, there's just so many moments I really like even talking about down to the river to pray when the people are just like walking through the forest in white clothes to get baptized, but no one notices them. And the way they do it is kind of like, um, what's going on? And it's just like, it's like, oh, and then obviously the two guys are like, we gotta get baptized. Yeah, and then they're running in. Obviously, they don't say we gotta get baptized, but that's the obviously the energy they carry. It's just like, oh, okay, um, I guess it's okay. And then the next time you see a lot of people in white, it's the KKK. It's just like I like different like
Yeah,
power.
that's a good point. Yeah, it's the yin and the yang kind of thing going on there. Where it's like it's the same thing, but it's also completely to the extreme of both sides.
That reminds me of your religious experience.
And even
Yeah, we were walking up.
Oh no.
We walked up like very, very early up St. Catherine's Hill in Winchester, and there were a bunch of singing nuns, and they were singing in the trees. And Rob was like, "I've had enough." And we came back down the hill, and we sat on a bench for a bit, and we were rolling up some folks, and then Rob just went,
fuck it, what's the point? And he just chucked all his cigarette stuff. And he didn't smoke after that day.
So you could say that Rob was having none of it.
Oh,
That's a good one.
That was a really awful day, man. Because it was like
that was a good pun though.
it was, but it was it was super early in the morning. I went a bit cool earlier. It was super early in the morning, and they were just like they were literally just like walking around in pairs and singing at trees. And it was because it was so early and it was such a weird image. I was kind of going, something is not right, and then something's going to go terribly wrong today. And then a few years later, I saw Midsummer, and I was like, yeah, see?
It was that. That's the film of the experience.
Yeah, like that's what it made it feel like what was going to happen. And then you saw, oh, they're getting baptized. Oh, okay, so it's going to be okay. But then
I've seen
I'm-
it.
it's the sirens. Oh, this is not going to go well.
Yeah.
I see what they're doing now. Oh, but yeah, this is a lot of. It was, I don't know, just I think I like a lot of moments in it. I was thinking about something, but I can't remember now. Oh yeah, on a random note, not that it's that surprising. Like in the KKK scene, like some of the people under the white hoods. Actually, it's kind of surprising. But some of the people under the white hoods were black. Because they were just like, yeah, we just need all the people we can get to be this. Because it was, I think I think almost all of the people in that scene were part of the military, like marching kind of group. There's like there was like some military marching type formation group they knew who could do, who practiced random different formations for performances and whatnot. It got them to do this.
Yeah, I heard that they needed more extras, and so there's so many like black people that were like, yeah, I'll do it. It's fine. I'll just go on the set and pretend to be these KKK guys. I was like, well, really? Okay. They must have been quite upfront about them. It's like, yeah, but this is what we're filming. We're just filming like a satirical, like hillbilly comedy folk tale. That's what it is.
Whereas you watch Forrest Gump and you go, would you mind putting on a KKK outfit? And Tom Hanks went, yep, no problem. Let's do it.
Yeah.
That's like the opposite of what happened with the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Because there's a KKK scene in that, and one of the people under the hoods is Chris Jericho. And
Wow.
when he was cast for it, it was kind of like, yeah, that's like, it's just a film, like whatever. And then when the thing happened with the Trump supporters attacking the White House, his wife was one of them, and it was like, oh, maybe it was more than a film.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
you're on the list.
Yeah.
And it
On
made
the list.
when I saw that film scene, it made me think of the one in Tarantino's film.
Django?
Yeah, it just made me laugh. Made me think of the scene where they're trying to cut holes in the potato sacks. That whole kind of comedic scene. I take it.
That's the best way to do the KKK stuff, is to just make fun of it.
Because otherwise,
Yeah,
it's dark and
it's like the birth of the nation. If you've heard of that film.
Oh, we went really 5 years without referencing that.
Oh, sorry about that.
Also,
Let's not reference that horrible film.
But no, that was one thing with Black Klansman. Like Topher Grace apparently had to go through therapy after filming it because he was like so like upset about the character that he was playing.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Did he go? Well, he didn't go full meta though, did he?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. No. But yeah, I suppose like, well, it depends on the kind of actor you are in it. But like, if you're somebody who like likes to get into the headspace of the character, I imagine that is pretty rough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a dark place to be.
I could imagine. Like there was one character. I'm trying to think. Um, I'm not sure if it's the guy who always wears the black shades, is chasing them and has the dog and whatnot. It might have been his character, but there was an actor who refused to play or who turned it down, and I think it was that role because it was too close. It was also really close to another racist role he had played, I think, not too long ago. Um, he did play in another one of his films later, but I can't remember his name now. But yeah, I wonder if he also turned it down for similar reasons. He didn't want to do that type of role again, especially so soon.
I know who he was in Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh yeah, he was the general. He was like Francis is like
Spengler.
yeah, Spangler. That's it. He was cool.
Mm. Yeah.
Daniel von Bargen.
That sounds like you made.
You sound made up.
Yeah. There were so many cool little things, like on the trivia for IMDb for this film. Like, if you haven't had a chance to look through it, I recommend. It's just nice. There's a lot of little kind of, whether it be references or things they did like during the making of the film. It's just quite nice. Find out.
That's all right. Hmm?
He's feeding the Alec.
Oh yeah.
He's feeling
Do not feed the Alec. He will come back.
it. Not after midnight. And what's the time? It's after midnight.
Oh, you don't want me multiplying. There's only one toilet.
Oh, man.
I'll quickly say my favorite scene. Well, I think Pat sort of covered it with like with Pete becoming a toad. That's definitely up there. That's definitely one of my favorite ones. But I think the bit where Pete and no wait, when Delmar just runs to get baptized in the river, and he's like, "Well, that's it, boys. I've been redeemed." And then he's just like, "I've washed away all my sins," and that, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" But it's like, my sins have been washed away because of this and that. And he said, "I thought you said you were innocent of the charges that you had." And then he's like, "Well, I was lying." And the preacher says that sins have been washed away too. And he's like, yeah. And he's just so happy for like the rest of the film for that point afterwards. And it's just like, yeah, I've been redeemed. Nothing I've done is just kind of like whitewashed. It's just like, it says it all about his character at that point. He's just innocent mind.
That's such a. It's such a like sort of view on how like religion is good for like just simple-minded people, where it's just kind of, I would never admit that I was lying until I was in a position where I was absolved of it.
Yeah, literally. Is that I didn't want to say anything, but yeah, that was a lie. But it's all good now.
That reminds me, even though it's not necessarily a confession, it when Pete was like, "What? There was no treasure? I had 2 weeks left of my sentence." And I'm thinking, man, you like Ulysses, like you did them so dirty, man. Why did you convince this guy to come along with you? Like there was no treasure. This guy only had 2 more weeks. Like, yeah, it all worked out in the end. They got pardoned, but they almost got killed. because the guy facing them could care less.
I was quite bothered by that. I feel like he didn't get punished that much. Like he'd have to marry his wife, to be fair, but like
yeah, he didn't get punished at all. Like his like, yeah, he personally didn't get punished.
like it wasn't like it's not a happy marriage, but at the same time, he did ruin their lives.
Yeah, like he truly, like, that really took the piss. Saying that, what was it? Like, with him and his wife. So I don't, like, up until the point where she was. Actually, I even got when she was trying to get back with him, because I was trying to, like, reason things, even though it's like a comedy or whatever. I was just like, okay, first off, I do not blame her for getting with this guy. She's got how many kids? Like, even before she got pregnant with the seventh one, with the other guy, she had 6 kids. Who's gonna pay for all them kids? Still alive? Like, that was also not that common. Most of those kids would have been dead. Not in a, like, mean way or anything. That's just how it was. Like they make it to the age of 5. That's a miracle in itself. But who's gonna pay for all them? You need someone with a good job. And this guy was willing to do it. It's not like he gets anything but love from this lady. Like, there's no money in it for him. So it's just like, okay, cool. She's found a guy. Like, it could work out. And then when she, like, ended up kind of getting back cozy with George Clooney's character, I was like, at first I was just like, wait, really? And then I went, oh, wait a minute. He just lost his job.
He took his job.
Like, even though he did try and stop Homer Stokes, he tried stopping him. Homer kept ignoring him, just like Homer and The Simpsons would do. And then, sorry, and then he just walked off. It's like, oh yeah, if he lost his job, she's got no one to pay for her kids anymore. Nope, I don't blame you for going back to him. You're like, wait, he's got employment, stable, with the mayor. He's been pardoned. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know you again. You didn't get hit by the thing. That whole, even the fight scene where he's like this. It's like, what is this? Anyway, great, just, yeah, great times, great fun. Um, Was there? Oh, Pat's gone now. Was there any other kind of things anyone wanted to, like, bring up or talk about from the film? I know it's quite late.
No, I was just about to see if Joel Cohen was the new husband, but no, that's not him.
Let's go down to the river to pray.
I need to rewatch it.
It's good.
I'm still not sure of my score, but
I haven't actually looked at it. That's a good point.
I suppose.
I've only seen Rob and Pat's scores. I haven't actually seen.
Yeah.
Huh?
I haven't scored it yet.
Yeah, it's just me.
Mhm.
But no Simon yet either.
Oh man.
He's gonna have 3 films to watch now.
Oh, it's a double bill next. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, Ben. Yeah, you scored it pretty well.
It good. Or as they say in the South, all right, all right, all right.
Oh, man. But yeah, it's one of my rare light picks. I say light picks, even though it has obviously things in it or references in it that are serious things. Obviously, it's a comedy and it does it in a way that's really nice and light, and you don't have to think too much or for too long about the sucky references that it's referring to. I don't know about my next picks.
Please say thanks to Camilla for the Odyssey references.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I would ask Pat what's his next films if you're there, Pat, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, curses.
Well, if until he gets back, unless anyone else wants to say something, I could kind of uh, go through some like random trivia if people are interested.
You go for it for a bit.
Cool. Let me know when Pat's back because I'm not looking at the call screen.
If he comes back, it'll be like 3 a.m, and then we're still going through the train.
Oh, really? Wait, Homer is what? Apparently, Homer is given co-writing credit on the film.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Because if a story is based on something, then usually you get a co-credit. Because like this has confused me so many times before I realised. Because there's so many films that are like adaptations of older films, and the original screenwriter has a credit. And for ages, I was going like, "Holy shit, this person worked with this person," but it was like, no, it's just that they adapted what that person wrote.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
As a random funny thing, there was a snake catcher in a set.
That makes sense.
And apparently, they hired the guy to like go around look for snakes. He did use a golf club, which reminds me of Alex's story with the frogs. And then someone had asked him, like what uh what do you call someone like with this profession? And he said, an idiot. He didn't have an of his own job. Let's see. The song Man of Constant Sorrow was first published in 1913 by the blind Richard Burnett.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What, it's that old? Jeez.
Also the first the blind black guy who was on the railroad, like just pumping his thing. Because like the reference of talking about him like having supernatural abilities and stuff like that, George Clooney was saying, he's basically a seer character who was also in the Odyssey. I don't remember what character he's meant to be a reference to, but he's a reference to a blind seer in the Odyssey. Yeah, I forgot about that. There's so many. Wait,
I'm back.
uh,
He's
oh,
back.
as the last one, apparently there's a reference to the Evil Dead as well.
Oh really?
Where they apparently when Ulysses' childhood home is shown at the end of the film, where they go to search for the ring, it's actually based on the cabin from the Evil Dead. Oh,
That's very cool.
yeah. Ah.
Alec don't agree.
But
He
anyway,
is the Evil Dead right now.
I was just filling time in until you got back, Pat. Oh,
But I'm not going to be back for long because I'm so tired and I got work in the morning.
Yeah, man, that's,
I was filling time until you came back to tell us what are your films.
Oh, okay. So I've had this one marked for a while. It's contains one of my favourite films and another one which I consider having one of the best sort of summer movie soundtrack. I don't think the film is on par with it, but they're both made by the same bloke. So it's going to be a Tony Scott double bill of Top Gun and Days of Thunder.
nice.
Ooh. And since I haven't
Yeah.
seen Top Gun yet, that'd be great.
He's a
The first Top Gun, don't watch Maverick. So that's not part of the double bill.
We're gonna watch at some point anyway.
Yeah.
Of course.
I mean, you can watch it if you want, but it is the 1986 one that
Nice.
I'm picking. They are both on Amazon Prime or Apple TV, whatever way you feel inclined to watch it.
Nice.
If you're grumpy enough with Amazon and you don't want to watch it on there, give me a shout. And actually, I'm not downloading it anyway. But yeah, I mean,
We'll
if
be
you
all
want,
right. Thanks, man.
well, I suppose Apple TV don't have adverts, do they? So
Not throughout, only in the beginning.
yeah,
I
so
could be watching it on Apple TV.
yeah, so like.
Oh yeah, on Apple TV.
I did look on Netflix. It's not on Netflix. I don't know about Sky. Hold on.
That's
Let
what
me
they want. Paramount
check
Plus.
Sky.
Because
Paramount
if
Plus
it's
is an option.
yeah, because I know
Uh,
Top Gun is a Paramount movie.
Yeah, usually just watch the say. Thanks, Bob. Let's say so. Top Gun. So it's apparently on. It should actually be on Sky Go as well.
Yeah, top.
Uh,
What one's this?
Well, it's Prime.
Yeah, the
Like,
1986 Top Gun's also on Sky.
yeah. What was the second film you said? Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder.
Not Tropic Thunder, yeah.
Not Tropic Thunder, no. Days of Thunder is also on Sky. So yeah, you've got Apple, Amazon, or Sky. Plenty of options this week. I didn't even realise there was an issue with your film where to watch it. Just because I had it on disc, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, like, but because Alec kind of, I guess, tried to watch it so late, he didn't realize. Because I was just like, obviously, if anyone needed any help, obviously, like Ben was offering his account. Like I was like, okay, I can make a way. Like we'll figure out something out. There was also, I think, a film else.
I
I
mean,
said that it was on Sky Now TV as well.
yeah.
But they have these are the only ones. I'm like, oh really?
Yeah. If he had mentioned it earlier as well, if he was willing to just drive down to me, and I would have just given him loaned him my disc.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
we
see,
could
he
have
knows
bought
where I
him one.
live, so
I would have bought him with like a cheap one from Amazon Prime or something. I don't.
it's like he picked me up to go to your wedding, so so he knows exactly where I am.
Cool.
Have
Yeah.
a look at the video that I just sent you guys in the Discord.
So,
I found a way to temporarily stop the snoring.
oh, fuck,
Oh,
where's
what?
my Discord?
I'm watching.
Yes, but it works every time.
Oh, but
I'm gonna do it now. every single time.
Hmm?
Oh, he's a waiter. Basically, I've been tickling your nipple, and it stops you snoring.
Oh. That's news for you.
Oh man.
Too funny. Oh yeah, this as another thing for my story. This is something else that happened today.
What happened?
But yeah, it's just been a long day. Anyway,
I feel you, man. I feel you.
you probably definitely had a very long day.
Yeah, because like today's the first day on my new meds as well. So
Ooh.
basically, I had my blood test and my sugar numbers had gone up by like 3 points, which is very
Oh.
little. Like, because I think from the time that I had my last blood test up until like January when I had Christmas and my holiday and all, I think my diet was sort of went a bit skew-iff. But in the last